Today I'm going to show you how to make your cheap and nasty drone footage look $1,000,000. This Mini 4 Pro footage is anything but cheap and nasty, I was just joking. In the intro we have a beautiful balanced exposure because the sun is behind the camera, illuminating everything evenly from the landscape all the way up to the clouds and the sky. This is good. 10 seconds later, with the camera pointed the other way, we have this harsh blown out section in the sky and the reflection on the water. If we were filming with a $100,000 cinema camera, it might look quite nice, that roll off from the highlight into the midtones, but here it doesn't, it looks harsh. And this is about as good an image that you're going to get from a consumer product these days. We're filming with the 10-bit HLG high dynamic range color profile on this Mini 4 Pro. This is as good as it gets. We want to fix it and make it look a bit more professional. With a 10-bit color profile, you might think we just lower the highlights a little bit to recover some more detail, but it simply doesn't work. There's no information in that section whatsoever, as you can see in the waveform. With a curves adjustment, we can stretch out the highlights leading up to the clipped part of the image, but ultimately when it's clipped, there's no color information to recover. In the effects browser of your video editing software, look for the Luma Keyer. This effect allows us to select or key certain parts of the image based on their luminance values. In this instance, we want to target those highlights specifically and see if we can do some trickery thereafter. In Final Cut Pro, hold down Option on your keyboard, click and drag the clip in question to duplicate it above. Switch off the underlying clip for the time being by hitting V. Apply the Luma Keyer to the new clip and adjust the values to isolate those highlights that we want to play with. Back in the effects browser, go find the Gaussian blur, drag that onto the Luma keyed clip, and I think you can start to see where this is going. With the underlying clip switched back on, you can see that we've now added this blurry, glowy haze to those harsh blown out highlights. Now you need to use a little bit of taste and judgment to make this look its best. In Final Cut Pro here we have control over the horizontal and vertical components of the blur. I have found that if we turn the vertical component of the blur down and just focus on the horizontal spread, it creates a more natural look. If you check out this other keyed example of blown out highlights, when we add the Gaussian blur both horizontal and vertical, it makes the whole thing look really fuzzy. But if we turn down the vertical and just focus on the horizontal blur, again, I just think it looks more natural. If in doubt, less is more. Go away from the computer, come back with fresh eyes and see what you think of it then. In this next example, we've duplicated the clip, applied the Luma Keyer, adjusted the settings, so we're just focusing on the highlights. Now in this instance, we've got some strong highlights on the road as well. I'm not sure that's going to look so great when we apply the Gaussian blur. Yeah, look at that, it looks a bit dreamy and mystical. It might be okay if that's what you're going for. To my eye, it looks like someone's gone at it a bit too hard with one of those misty diffusion filters. So, let's fix it. In the effects browser, go to Masks, Shape Masks, drag it on to your newly created overlaid clip and isolate the section of the clip that you want this blur/diffusion technique applied to. Beautiful, now you can see when we play the overlying clip that we're only targeting the sky. Combine the two and you can see we have a subtle, sophisticated way of softening those overexposed highlights in our drone footage. As always folks, there's no substitute for knowing how to use your flying cameras in the first place. Even with all these amazing color profiles and video editing techniques, you need to know how to construct your shots skillfully. This video is self-sponsored. Check out our 9-hour drone cinematography masterclass, everything you need to know to create stunning footage. Link in the description below. Get yourself a copy of our free ebook From Drone Zero to Drone Hero, 37 tips to get you flying like a filmmaker. And we'll see you next time.